Apply pressure from every angle, you feel me? Yeah, you know, attack mode. Never fold, man. Nah, never fold, never quit, yeah. Keep going, like, yeah. Now they gotta feel me, yeah. Now they gotta feel me, yeah. Now they finna feel me. I try to keep it cool, but niggas always act a fool. So now they gotta feel me, yeah. Now they gotta feel me, yeah. Now they finna feel me. I try to keep it cool, but niggas always act a fool. So now they gotta, yeah, I smoke that thing. Tryna get M's in the bank, fuck what they think. Knock a nigga whole mouth out. Come side me, top break, throw hands like Tank. Knock it out the park like Hank. I've been doing them planks, what you got on my drink? I've been trying to keep my sane. Humanity so lame, fuck you and your gang. Speaking on the dead man's name.
I'm ready. What up? Let's get to it. Down at the levee, we going fishing at the levee. SKOL VIKES, you know what it is, man, for real. So breaking news, I repeat, breaking news, the Minnesota Vikings have hired their new GM, Nolan Teasley, out of Seattle from the Seattle Seahawks. Now, you know me, I vouch for Rob Brzezinski. I feel like it should have been an easy decision to bring Rob in the building. I feel like it was no questions to ask. What else needs to be done or shown to the Vikings, etc. But hey, they went with their move. They made their move, period. But as far as Rob Brzezinski goes, I hope somehow, some way he's still involved in the recruiting process, in the draft process, etc. Whether or not he will go to a higher position or go back to working with the cap, whatever happens, he needs to be involved some way, somehow in certain decisions made as far as roster personnel goes, as far as the draft is concerned. But if they were going to hire anyone, Nolan Teasley probably was the best hire, best man for the job, for real. You know, he was assistant manager to Snyder. Yeah, assistant GM to Snyder. And what did Snyder do over there around yonder in Seattle? Built a Super Bowl roster heavy, built a Super Bowl team heavy, baby. And he did it in a short amount of time. Solid draft after solid draft, and you see what came to fruition for the Seattle Seahawks for sure. But at the end of the day, Nolan Teasley, still learning, still growing. But as far as being around the best, helping the best, learning from the best, learning tricks, tips, etc., what to look for in players in general, man. Making free agency moves, money moves, all that. As far as the best candidate, definitely, besides, if we exempt Rob Brzezinski from the equation, Nolan Teasley probably was the best hire, best man for the job. You know, he's learned everything, been sitting up under Snyder, learning, asking questions, growing, peeping everything. I repeat, peeping everything, baby, waiting for his opportunity. And it is very evident he's confident in himself, confident in his work ethic and his knowledge of the game in general. And the Vikings are as well. Now, like I say, I wanted Rob Brzezinski to be the GM, but who knows what's going on behind the scenes. I mean, hell, maybe Rob Brzezinski didn't want to be GM in the first place. So a lot of things in the air, a lot of questions for sure. But Nolan Teasley, I'm going to get into the article real soon, but Nolan Teasley can get the job done. He proved it in Seattle. And everything he learned from Snyder, I'm sure he will bring it to the table in many. Now, and if we're just talking strictly GM, we're talking strictly the best hire, the best move made possible by the Wilfs, KLC, whoever else was involved. They got a winner. He knows how to build a team to win. No matter what is the ultimate goal, right? Super Bowl, baby, Super Bowl. Hopefully, multiple Super Bowls, huh? For real. But at the end of the day, Nolan Teasley brings everything you want, has everything you want in a GM, no doubt. Knowledge of the game, winner, been around winners, etc. Good energy, good spirit, etc. Man. And if it's a real collaboration, real working procedures going on, dog, real communication, unlike how it was with Quasi, KLC, and Flores. You know it, I know it. But like we saw in the draft, Flores is deeply involved too. But solid hire. Shout out to the Vikings for getting it done rather quickly and swiftly as well. Shout out to Rob Brzezinski for sure, doing his job very well. 1,000%. I repeat, 1,000%. What he did in the draft, what I'm assuming the draft was, he did a phenomenal job. And I definitely thought he was the man for the job. But hey, maybe he didn't want the job, like I said earlier. But Nolan Teasley, let's dive into and get more into Nolan Teasley. Here we go, man. For sure. Let me know in the comments, how do you feel about Nolan Teasley, baby? No doubt. You hear me? Wow, man. But the Vikings have their GM. I repeat, the Vikings have their GM. Man, but Rob was phenomenal. I repeat, Rob was spectacular, damn near. And he put him in a good position to definitely win. Here we go. Let's get to it, though. Boom. Vikings reportedly hire Seahawks Nolan Teasley as GM to replace Kwesi Adolpho-Mensah. The Minnesota Vikings are tasking Nolan Teasley with building their roster going forward. Teasley, the Seattle Seahawks assistant GM under John Schneider, was hired to replace Kwesi Adolpho-Mensah as the Vikings general manager. NFL Network's Tom Pelissero reported on Saturday. Here we go. Let's get it. After 6 years in a marketing job, Nolan Teasley wrote letters to all 32 teams in 2013 asking for an opportunity to get back into football. He got one interview with the Seahawks and GM John Schneider, who hired him as an intern. 13 years later, wow, Teasley is the Vikings' new GM. So once again, Nolan Teasley took full advantage of his opportunity for real. And shout out to the Seahawks, John Schneider, etc., giving him a real opportunity, a fair opportunity, believing in him. 31 other teams didn't believe in him, give him a shot, give him a chance, whatever. But all it took was just one. And he got the opportunity and he was prepared for it. So shout out Nolan Teasley. Once again, SKOL Vikes, baby. Here we go. The Vikings agreed to terms with Seahawks assistant GM Nolan Teasley as their general manager, sources tell NFL Network. Fresh off a Super Bowl win, Teasley, regarded as one of the NFL's top young executives, now will try to bring a Lombardi trophy to Minnesota. That's what we want. That's what we want for real. Here we go. Adolpho-Mensah was fired by the Vikings after 4 seasons, shortly after the team finished 9-8 in their first season with J.J. McCarthy as starting quarterback. The Vikings were just 1 season removed from a 14-3 campaign behind Sam Darnold, although the team let Darnold walk in free agency following a wild card loss to the Los Angeles Rams. The franchise followed up the decision to part ways with Darnold by signing both head coach Kevin O'Connell and Adolpho-Mensah to a multi-year extension in May 2025. The Vikings ultimately parted ways with Adolpho-Mensah less than a year later. ESPN's Adam Schefter reported shortly after his dismissal there had been tension within the Vikings organization. It's a lot going on around yonder, man. For real. Here we go. SKOL Vikes. Minnesota has since undergone a busy offseason under acting general manager Rob Brzezinski. Shout out Rob once again. Highlighted by signing former Arizona Cardinals quarterback Kyler Murray and starting off the 2026 draft by selecting defensive lineman Caleb Banks. Teasley is heading to Minnesota after climbing the ranks in the Seahawks front office. He originally joined the Seahawks scouting department in 2013 and ahead of John Schneider's 4th season with the organization. Teasley was then promoted to become the Seahawks assistant general manager ahead of the 2023 season. Here we go. The Seahawks are set to receive 2 third-round compository picks following Teasley's departure, per ESPN's Brady Henderson. The Vikings will hope Teasley's decades of experience in pro scouting will help him lead his new team to back to playoff contention in his first season as an NFL general manager. Once again, shout out to Teasley for real. Here we go. And that is the news boom right there. Let me know in the comments, man. How do you feel about Nolan Teasley? Are you excited about it? Would you have rather had the Vikings hire someone else? Did you want Rob, etc.? Man, let me know for sure. You know what it is. You know what it ain't. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell as well. Takes less than 1 second. Support the channel, support the grind, man. Why not? You support the fake already, support the real for real. Huh? SKOL VIKES, win, lose, or draw, but we come to win. Down at the levee, we going fishing at the levee. SKOL VIKES, man. We go.